Welcome to the Legal Selva podcast.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, Ange, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Today we're talking with Greg Malia. Greg is one of the two founders of my current firm, Regency Law Group. He's a colleague. He's a friend. He, by far, has the best smile in the office. Give him that. A little bit jealous. It's a position I held myself in previous jobs, but there's no competition here.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. How's your day going, Greg?
Pretty hectic, actually,
Yeah.
which is standard for me. So I, gear my day up earlier so that by the time I get into the office, the chaos that ensues is not hitting me in the face within an hour of waking up. So I usually show up ready to get a series of emails and phone calls of people panicking and emergencies. And I do my best to, knock them out one at a time. And I usually get that started as quickly as I can upon arrival.
So you gear your day up early. Does your day start at the firm or does your day start someplace else?
So I wake up anywhere between the hours of 3:45 on a tough day or 5 a.m. So anywhere in that range, whenever I get up, I head to the gym with a group of gentlemen who got together during the pandemic years when everything shut down, converted an old garage into a gym, and there's some healthy competition in there. And so that goes till about 5:36 in the morning, and then I get home, get ready to come into the office. I'm usually here between 7:30 and 8.
Do you find starting your day at the gym just makes everything else flow?
It's certainly mental. It's helpful from a mental perspective. I think the idea, especially in this career, of getting out of bed and then heading, to a drive-through and then right into your office with your eyes closed still, you're not setting yourself up to be effective. I find that the gym does moves your body around, and then your mind wakes up, and while you're working out, you're contemplating your day, you're contemplating what you're about to do. That carries on to when you're getting home in the shower and maybe preparing a breakfast. Yeah. All those activities in the morning when you're by yourself, you have time to think and reflect and plan. And I find that when you do hit the office, you hit it with a plan, and it's usually an effective one.
You're awake, you're focused.
Focused. You've made some accomplishments already. Mm-hmm. You've burned all those calories or whatever it is you're setting out to do in the gym, and you're ready to go.
You feel good.
You feel great. Yeah.
I always said I also start my day at the gym every morning. Slightly the same. Mine opens at 5, so I get up about 4:45 or so and then spend a bit of time out there. But I've always said, as long as I work out in the morning, everything else is manageable. I can handle everything else. If I miss my workout, that's when I feel like things start to fall apart.
And you fall behind, I think. You start to get to work or even if you woke up at 7:30, I feel like I'm already agitated and panicked that it's 7:30 and I'm now just getting up. I'm way behind. Yeah.
I agree.
Even though you may still get to work around the same time, your day is a lot different.
Your mental capacity, your neuroplasticity is different than it would be having worked out.
Yeah, it's almost like stretching. It's like, how can I expect to sprint without warming up now?
It's exactly like stretching. You're stretching your brain in addition with your body.
I agree.
Because you were quite into jujitsu in the morning, weren't you?
It was in the evening.
Okay.
I haven't been back. I did have an injury because I hiked the Grand Canyon in November of 2022 and didn't prepare for that properly. So I had a bit of a knee injury and I had to put jiu-jitsu on the shelf, but I am planning on getting back to it.
That's interesting. I also have a martial arts gym. I've been a bit more on the boxing side, but I've taken a few jiu-jitsu classes.
Interesting. I'm looking to get into the boxing side of things.
Okay.
Although
I've
I'm
got
not
some
sure,
good recommendations for you.
Not sure my brain can handle losing any more brain cells. So
we don't do a lot of contact. And if we do, people are wearing like headgear. It's a lot more pad work. So you're either with a bag, or if you have a partner, one has pads, so you're not getting hit in the head. But I love it. And the amount of aggression. So I work with a coach who's incredible. He was a former professional boxer, had a really spectacular injury that prevented him from ever continuing. And I remember coming out, and I'd boxed over the years, like, I don't know, maybe starting my late 20s and then got back into it a couple years ago. And I came out with a huge smile on my face. And I was like, oh my God, Krish, I love that so much. And he's like, in my decades of coaching, he's like, I've never met a female that did not love throwing punches. He's like, you women you take more pride in just bashing at someone. I was like, not thinking of anything in general. I'm just like thinking of focus. How is my fist hand, It's just, I don't know if you can see what's going on right now, but it makes me so happy.
I'm barely able to contain my laughter and excitement because I find that is common among many people, but female specifically. I've got some friends who are black belt in kickboxing and just like chomping at the bit to get into a class and compete. I like the thrill or the technique and the thrill of knowing an art. I'm not a huge I'm not driven by the competition aspect. I feel like I'm at this stage of my life. I'm past needing to go and prove that I can stand on a podium.
Sure. I'm not there either.
It's more about teach me the skill and let me practice it and learn it and like participate. And so, that is something that would be really cool.
Cool. And I find it's also the people I meet in doing this. Like it's a very like-minded, who come into it the same reason that you and I do. They respect the art. They respect the skill. And it's, I don't know, a certain mindset. And
it's really great because you can go anywhere and everyone's almost the same. So if you could probably go to California and you can, go to Peru.
Of course.
And you find a gym and people are doing whatever martial art they're doing. And, the etiquette is the same. And there's obviously going to be some differences, but it's pretty global.
Yeah. Funny, my sister lives in California. And I was visiting her last year and I was walking down, like her neighbor 4 houses down had like a boxing class in his, his garage, like his driveway. So I went by and I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, I'd do some drop-ins. So I made an appointment. I went back the next day. I worked out with him and we were talking. And a friend of mine at the MMA gym that I go to in Mexico, a professional fighter, and this is his coach when he's in California.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
So everyone, took selfies together and sent it to the other one. And they're like, you kidding? How do you guys know each other? Like, how do you know each other?
Yeah, it's such a small community, even though they're separated by thousands of miles. I always often wonder too, it would be nice to get, competitors from each, here's me talking about not competing, competitors from each geographical locale.
Okay.
And to see how they compete against each other and what techniques, maybe this region overuses this technique and this region has, a response to that, and seeing kind of who's the best of the best.
And do you find that respect in addition to the physical exercise? But like you said, like jujitsu is very technical. You're focusing eye to eye, with someone and trying to figure out how best to approach it to, take them down.
I still haven't figured it out. What the best way to describe it is, and I feel embarrassed to even be talking about it because I'm not qualified to do it. But
in your experience, you are.
It is really just, do you know all the moves and do you know when to make the moves? And people liken it to a chess game where there's, the board is there. There's a finite number of squares and pieces, but really an infinite number of things that can happen once the game starts. And I find when you're rolling with someone and you're competing, there are different techniques that will come into play based on everybody's move. So it's really just who makes the first move, and then what do you do to respond to that? And anything can really happen.
But isn't that strategy almost the exact same as what we do in our jobs?
It's similar, yeah.
Yeah.
It is similar to practicing law. You often do have to, I guess, take what comes at you and, look at the facts and apply your knowledge. It really is the same.
And bluff. I am assuming that this will be done before this episode is uploaded, but to hold out detail, it was on a call this morning. I bluffed all the way across, and I think it's going to work. We didn't need to get a lot, but I just needed to create a little bit of leverage to resolve something without actually having to issue a claim.
Yeah, maybe cut the date out of this one, but
the date's out.
I know what you mean. I think that this as well, is like as you go through so many different scenarios, you can almost read when you should be bluffing.
Yeah.
And it's really just based on, not being greedy, but how much leverage do I have and how aggressive do I want to be? And you know, it's like playing poker too. You know when you have someone, right?
Yeah. Because I do think creating the bit of leverage in this case is going to cause a much quicker resolution, happier clients on both sides, much less expensive fees, et cetera. And we'll get this done pretty quickly, which I think is, the perfect scenario in every case.
And it's funny how certain things can happen to bring about those circumstances. And all of a sudden, someone doesn't know that someone else is watching them and it has nothing to do with their dispute, but it's a small little fact that might destroy a whole set of, maybe family values. And all of a sudden, hey, everyone's coming back to the table and we're all going to work on this together without destroying someone's life.
I think that's the case. And I'm fortunate that the guy on the other side is a really good guy. I find him intelligent, reasonable, fair. So I don't really have any doubt. Which, same in jiu-jitsu. I went to watch, I have a few friends, like I said, who fight semi-professionally. And the fact that they can absolutely bludgeon and bloody this person's face, and then as soon as it's done, the hugging and the bowing and the absolute respect, and then watching them, share a meal together after. I don't have that in me, nor do I want to have it in me.
Yeah, I don't want to get there.
I absolutely love the respect that you see, in, I guess, our daily sport and this physical sport as well.
Yeah, I think with jujitsu, sometimes when I go and train, you have a partner that you're sparring with, and you go against them for 30 or 60 minutes, and it's just how many rounds can each of you win. And after a few of them, you do start to get a level of it is a level of respect. And even though you're getting your arm torqued and your leg busted, you still you like the person more, I think.
Yeah. I agree completely. You respect them. Yeah. And then going back to sort of like the physical health side of it. So you and Eric founded this place about 6.5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah, Regency Law Group, I believe we opened our doors officially on May 1st, 2017.
I recall. Because I joined you 3 years to the day. I joined you May 1st, 2020.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, height of pandemic. So yeah, we kind of went at this with naivety and some a lot of what people say is a lot of piss and vinegar. And it's been successful so far. And I think it's been successful based on a few things. Our original plan was to serve people who we wanted to work for. And what that means is let's be a part of this community. Let's serve the people. Let's serve the corner store. Let's serve, the new doctor that just came out of his residency or her residency.
Sure.
Let's help people buy properties. Let's do their estate planning. Let's help, let's do commercial transactions, and let's keep sharpening our skills in commercial litigation. And I think that our approach has always been go at it with vigor, go at it with no ego, keep your passion and keep your values close to you. And if you just, at least from my perspective, if you just keep your head down and keep working, you'll be successful in one way or another. And even when I had some hard years kind of, right out of the gate, my approach was always, I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and go again. And I'm just going to wake up and go again. And I would have bad days, some were, I never had these feelings before, or I never had these emotions, and they haven't shown themselves to me yet. And as like someone who's lived half their life, and my approach is just, get up or get to bed and get up and go back at it. And as long as you don't quit and you keep doing what you set out to do, you should succeed. And that's still true today. You get back from a weekend or a hard day and it's just, okay, I just got to get up tomorrow and go at it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I find for me, I believe this advice came during a yoga class, because those weekends away and that are necessary. And the comment was, do what you're doing. So if you have that weekend away, be in that weekend away, enjoy that weekend away. You're not working right now, and that will prepare you. So when you do come back on Monday, you can 100% be there.
Yeah, I would agree. Early on, it's harder to do that. I think, especially, as a young lawyer coming out of school, it's hard to even do that because you're so concerned about failing and learning. But the more you can step away, the easier, not the easier it becomes, the better prepared you are to manage the stressors that you will encounter.
I agree. When you and Eric started Regency Law Group, was it always the plan to be a full service firm, or did you ever consider specializing more so? I mean, I realize you have your area of specialty, as do I, as does Eric, and as do, a number of other people here.
The intention was full service, and the idea was it was based on our value proposition to our clients. Like, we always thought that you can best serve your client when you know everything about them. So one of our first clients, actually our first client, has a business, and we do all of their work. We do their employment work. We do their real estate work. We negotiate their litigation when it comes through. We participate in discussions with accountants in terms of tax planning and that sort of thing. The idea was, if we can, assist with the real estate transaction, assist with the employment situation, we will have a better enriched relationship with the clients, which just serves them better because it allows us to give them better service than anyone else will. If we know everything about you,
absolutely,
and your situation, we're going to give you holistic advice, not just something with a certain lens. And so that's really what was the basis for the full service model. And then within that full service model, yes, there's specialists doing those things. And we've grown in a sustainable way because we've added lawyers and we've added law clerks and other skilled staff on the basis that we all row in the same direction, and we understand we come from a similar values.
I agree.
Or a similar place of values, or we come from similar. What's the way to put this? Everyone wants the same thing here. You
have similar values. Everyone's in it for the right reason.
Yeah. You want to do well when you're here. And when you're not here, we want you to do well at home, and we want you to do well outside of home. And that will only make you better here. And,
of course.
And that's kind of the way we want it to happen.
It's a very sustainable approach.
Yeah, that's the intention for sure.
Well, and it's really projected in this quite spectacular new office that we have here.
We're proud of the office.
Yeah, it looks great.
It was a very 90s bank before we tore it up and moved in, and it's still ongoing, which is great. There's always improvements to be made. And we're excited about that.
Can I ask who picked the lights? Because from the moment I first walked in, I'm absolutely in love with the light fixtures.
Our office manager did most of the interior.
Nice, Trisha.
Yeah, and I think she presented us for approval, and we really just did. We signed off on the dotted line type of thing, and she said, "Here's what I think and why," and we said, "We don't have any reason to dispute that or argue with it." But I enjoy the lights. The windows, lots of glass in here.
Lots of light in here.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think people appreciate the fact that we're on ground level now. So instead of being in a high rise where you're a little bit removed from, let's call it society, or at least removed from the streetscape, here you're right here. And so you want to step outside, you step right outside. You don't have to get into a lobby and into an elevator and then another lobby. And then most people won't do that because of the stages and the amount of time it takes to do that. Whereas here you can go outside for 2 minutes and it can be a 2-minute break.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
So I like that.
Yeah, cool. Greg, I know you have a huge day going on, and you stepped away to help me out here and to talk a little bit about Regency Law Group and what we do. And I didn't expect that we would get into a metaphor between law and jiu-jitsu, but as we got into that, I think it's incredibly accurate.
Yeah, I think so first, thank you for having me as a guest. I enjoyed it. And I'm hoping that I can get back to jiu-jitsu, and then we can do another episode.
We can.
And further this conversation and others.
Maybe we can do a video one. Give it 6 months of practice. Can we turn the lunchroom, put some mats down? We can do some rolling downstairs.
Yeah. We
can
do it. We
cool.
might have a guest come in, or maybe two.
It sounds great.
All right.
Cool. Yeah,
Thanks
give
a
me
lot,
some
Ange.
practice time. Cool. Take care, Greg.
See ya.